Batman is an iconic superhero and one of the most popular superheroes in the world, with probably the most films featuring him than any other superhero has. And because of this, he has been in so many different stories in media that in some of these stories, he has died. And this is a list of the 5 best deaths of Batman. Number 5. Injustice 2: Damian's Ending. In the video game Injustice 2, if you play on the arcade as Damian Wayne, then in the ending of Damian Wayne's story, we see that Batman sacrifices his own life to save his son.
Bruce Wayne was my father, and it's no secret I hated him. But despite all that, he sacrificed himself to save me.
We don't see how he died, but it's made clear that Brainiac was attacking Damian Wayne, and Batman jumped between the two to take the deadly blow in order to save his son. This death actually shows the lighter side of Batman, even though his son is a serial killer who is remorseless.
Problem solved. Who's next?
Damn it, Damian!
And has even killed Batman's adopted son, Dick Grayson. Even after all this, Batman still loves him, and sacrifices his own life to save the last member of his bloodline.
I was so obsessed with escaping the Bat's shadow that I never appreciated what that symbol really meant. Not until I saw it stained with my father's blood. My blood.
This also has a profound effect on Damian Wayne, and seeing his father's love for him, even after all he has done, changes him to his core. And so Damian Wayne decides to become the new Batman, to honour his father's legacy. Presumably this means he will also never kill again, as anything less than this would be a dishonour to his father's memory.
But from now on, the world will know me as Batman.
Number 4. Batman the Brave and the Bold: The Death Montage. The Joker has always been trying to beat Batman, and every time he tries, he fails. Though he never gives up, which is actually kind of impressive in a way. He has dealt some serious blows to Batman, even going so far as to cripple Batgirl.
Candy grab!
And kill the Jason Todd Robin.
Jason.
But he has never truly beaten Batman. That is, until he gained the powers of a god, and even Batman struggles against that kind of power. This was a classic story in the comics that was retold in Batman the Brave and the Bold. In that show we see Batmite, who is a being from the 5th dimension who worships Batman and is his biggest fan.
The whole reason I've come back is I want to see the ultimate face-off!
Your obsession with me is flattering, Batmite, but it's not healthy.
And because he's from the 5th dimension, he has godlike power. And he decides to give Batman his powers. Unfortunately, when he fires his powers at Batman, the Joker is hit instead and gains his godlike abilities. Joker then beats Batman by killing him.
Nice try, Joker.
Then killing him again.
Power!
Then again, and again. He dies a lot in this episode. This is because the Joker kills him and then brings him back to life and kills him again and again, because he has godlike power. But this is only going to count as one death because, well, it'd be a bit silly to count every individual one. But don't worry, Batman is ultimately able to beat the Joker by tricking him into thinking that he must go inside Batman's mind to send Batman insane. However, it turns out to be a plan of Batman's because Joker's powers are compromised in his brain. He then convinces Joker that if he does make the world he wants, it will be boring for him, as he loves the way the world is now because he's the insane one and Batman is his arch nemesis. Whereas if he changes everything, he won't have a nemesis and he won't be the insane one.
Without Batman, there can be no Joker.
And so Joker agrees to give up his powers if Batman will let him out of his mind, and everything goes back to normal, relatively speaking.
Batmite, can you undo the mess Joker made?
Sure, Batman. No sweat.
This ending isn't that surprising. After all, Batman always wins. No matter what the odds are, he will always be victorious, as was shown by the Injustice video games and this story. Number 3. Red Sun Motion Comic. Now, the Red Sun motion comic was an alternate universe in which Superman's space pod lands in Russia instead of America, and so he is raised by the values of Russia and the glories of communism.
Superman, pride of the Soviet state, symbol of our military might.
This leads to Superman becoming Russia's president, and essentially he then becomes a dictator of Russia.
Time passed and my grip grew tighter. Barely a decision was made across the length and breadth of the Soviet Union without my permission.
And the whole world is scared of him and doesn't want him in charge, as they're afraid of him and his totalitarian rule.
My apologies for interrupting a perfect evening of totalitarian oppression, but I've got a message here for anyone who values breathing.
And so Batman aims to take him down and end his oppression of the people. He captures Wonder Woman and then uses her as bait to lure in Superman. And when Superman arrives, Batman then activates a series of lamps that give off red sun radiation, negating Superman's powers and enabling them to fight on equal terms. Well, not really equal, after all this is Batman we're talking about, so he's obviously more skilled. And though it may seem that Batman is going to win, it doesn't quite go his way. As I said, Wonder Woman is also there. She's tied up by her lasso of truth. And in this universe, she is deeply in love with Superman, kind of like in the Injustice games, but in the Red Sun universe, Superman uses this love to manipulate her more, and in this instance, he has her break her lasso of truth. And since the lasso of truth is connected to her by magic, when she snaps it, she snaps a part of herself and deeply damages her mind. But once she is free, she destroys the red sun radiation lamps, and Superman's powers return. And so Superman is about to take down Batman when he says that before the fight he placed a bomb inside himself in case the fight didn't go his way. And he then detonates the bomb, killing himself and making him a martyr to the cause of taking down Superman. If you haven't seen this motion comic, then you definitely should. It's on YouTube and I'll put a link in this video's description because it is an absolute classic and so much better than that Zack Snyder Batman vs Superman rubbish. Number 2. Batman the Brave and the Bold, Batman retires. We have another Batman the Brave and the Bold death in a story of Batman's future that's narrated by Alfred, in which we see Batman's ultimate fate in that universe. Batman defeats his arch-nemesis, the Joker, and decides to retire as a crime fighter, passing the Batman mantle to Dick Grayson.
And so the mantle of Batman was passed, and justice endured. Batman endured.
He then settles down with his longtime love interest, Selina Kyle, who is of course Catwoman.
After all, even crime fighters need love.
The two marry and they have a son together that they name Damian Wayne, though this Damian Wayne is a lot different to the one we're used to seeing in the New 52 movies. Namely, he's not nearly that aggressive, and though his parents teach him the skills of being a crime fighter, he doesn't really take to being a superhero. And it looks like he may grow up not to be a superhero at all, as it's not what he wants to do.
I don't know if I can live up to the Batman legacy, Dick. I don't know if I want to. If I mess up, people get hurt.
That is until fate intervenes, along with the Joker's alleged son. One day, when the Wayne family are at the Batman Museum in Gotham, it is attacked by a man claiming to be the Joker's son.
After all, I am the Joker's son.
During this attack, both Bruce and Selina Wayne are killed, and Damian loses his parents.
No!
This tragedy changes Damian, just as Bruce Wayne was changed by watching his parents die in front of him. And so Damian is forged into a crime fighter, and he joins Dick Grayson and becomes the new Robin.
There's a new Robin in town, too.
It is then revealed that the Joker is not dead, and has been in hiding all this time, and that he is the one who orchestrated Bruce Wayne's death by training and sending his fake Joker son to kill him, as he knew that Bruce Wayne was Batman.
Oh, how'd I know? I'm crazy, not stupid, remember?
But together, the new Batman and the new Robin bring the Joker and his fake son to justice, and become the new crime-fighting dynamic duo of Gotham.
Good job, kid. You think you're gonna stick with it?
Yep. Gotham needs a Batman, and Batman needs a Robin.
And even further in the future, Damian Wayne eventually becomes the new Batman, with his own son as his Robin. This of course means that one day, when his son grows up, he will also take over the mantle of Batman. The best part of this death is that it shows that no matter what happens to Bruce Wayne, and no matter the obstacles that future generations may face in life, the Batman legacy will always live on. Number 1. Justice League: The Flashpoint Paradox. In Flashpoint, we see an alternate version of the DC universe, resulting from the Flash going back in time to save his mother's life. His altering of the past caused ripples throughout time. These ripples change key events in DC history.
Break the sound barrier and there's a sonic boom. You broke the time barrier, Flash. Time boom.
And one of the bigger changes made was to Batman's origin. Now, we all know his origin of watching his parents die in a mugging, and this causing him to grow up to be Batman. But in this universe, his parents don't die in the mugging. Instead, the young child Bruce Wayne is the one who is killed by Joe Chill.
Bruce is dead. I watched him die.
My God, he's the one who died that night in the alley.
Who is then beaten to death by Bruce Wayne's father, Thomas Wayne. This change in time causes his father to then become Batman instead, while the event sent his mother insane and turned her into this universe's version of the Joker. This whole concept is absolutely brilliant, and this is actually one of the better Flashpoint tie-in comics. And it's amazing to see that the movie actually went this dark, and it is a brutal end for Bruce Wayne. And if you don't think this death counts as a Batman death because technically it was Bruce Wayne who died before he was Batman, then bear in mind that his father's version of Batman, who has awesome glowing red eyes by the way, also dies in this movie.
I may not be a very good doctor, but even I know a dead man when I see one.
So no matter how you look at it, Batman dies in the Flashpoint Paradox. And that is the 5 best deaths of Batman. Do you agree with this list, or is there another death that you think should have been mentioned? And which of these deaths is your favourite? Be sure to let us know in the comments, and I'd just like to say a quick thank you to those of you who made this video possible by donating to the Needle Mouse Productions page on Patreon. Patreon is enabling us to bring you more videos each week and to raise funds for adapting comic book stories into short animated films. If you wish to donate or just want to learn more, a link is in this video's description. And as always, thanks for watching and feel free to subscribe, share, like and comment.